Hi, I'm Tommy Sheridan, and we're all involved in the Hope Over Fear campaign. I'm going to have to make a wee announcement here. I'm going to start with an apology to all of you who have been looking forward to the Storm in the Park on April 4th. We've been advertising it, and we've been inviting you to come along, and literally thousands of you have indicated that you were going to come along. However, for reasons that I'm now going to explain, Hope Over Fear is going to be postponing the event on 4th of April in favour of the Burns Not Bombs event in George Square. Now, one of the factors which we think makes this even more important than it was before this weekend is we now have the announcement that the First Minister of Scotland, Nicola Sturgeon, is going to be attending George Square to speak on a very important issue, nuclear disarmament. And she's going to be telling George Square that the SNP are going to make that a vital issue in relation to support for anything the Labour Party wants to do after the general election in Westminster. We in the Hope Over Fear campaign, we're set up to try and achieve independence for Scotland. That's what we're about. In this election, we've agreed as a campaign that the best way to break up the British state and deliver us independence is to get as many SNP MPs elected as possible. That's what we've agreed to do, to unite the Yes movement behind the SNP. Lend your vote to the SNP. Not asking for people to become members of the SNP, we're not asking people to become supporters of the SNP. If you want to do that, fine. But what we're saying is, on May the 7th, the best way to deliver independence, nuclear disarmament, and an anti-austerity message is to vote SNP. On that basis, on April 4th, instead of us having our event in Strathclyde Park, while there is another event in George Square, we're asking everybody that was going to come to Strathclyde Park to go to George Square, to listen to the First Minister of Scotland tell everyone that we want Burns, not bombs. That we want unilateral nuclear disarmament, and we want to spend millions of pounds every year, not on scrap metal down in Helensburgh. We want to spend millions of pounds every year in tackling children's poverty, tackling inequality and poor housing. That's what's important, and that's the message that we're going to get out there. So we're appealing to each and every one of you who have indicated you were going to come on April 4th. Please, still come out of your house on April 4th. But instead of going to Strathclyde Park, go to George Square. The final point, however, don't just go to George Square, or Freedom Square as we like to call it within Hope Over Fear. Don't just go to Freedom Square on April 4th. Come back out on April the 25th. We are going to have a mammoth day that day. Seize the day. We're going to have the wonderful Hope Over Fear anthem sang that day by Jerry Cinnamon. We're going to have other bands, we're going to have speakers, we're going to have kids' stuff taking place. It's all going to be free, and it's going to be a marvellous day. So, the message for this wee short video here is April 4th, go to George Square, Burns Not Bombs. April 25th, go to George Square, seize the day. And let us put hope over fear as a message across the whole of Glasgow, the whole of Scotland. Let's unite on May the 7th around a vote for the SNP to break the reactionary British state and deliver independence for the people of Scotland. Anything you guys wanted to add?
Basically, apologies to everybody who was going to speak or perform at Storm in the Park. All the guys that put in the hard work, the Hope Over Fear movement, the Storm movement as well. Basically, just apologies to everyone, and as Tommy said and touched on, get to George Square on April the 4th.
This is about strength in numbers as well, and it's about us all coming together and putting aside any differences that we have, and all pulling together. And everything that was organised for the 4th of April will still be going ahead, but on the 25th of April.
Lorraine?
Just to say that We're doing this for our children, we're doing it for your children, we're doing it for Scotland. Hope over fear.
Well, there you go, there's the message, folks. Sorry about April 4th. Get to George Square instead of Strathclyde Park. And on April 25th, let's fill Freedom Square with hope over fear.